The more I look into this, I want to say the more I want to say understand it. Uh, we're going to go to Aries. And today we're doing the planets of Aries. And I'll tell you what I mean by I understand it. Because I just read a small line and I wanted to do this on camera. Uh, but I just had to read the whole thing. It's the sun. The thing about this, whoever did this book, this one, had a really they had a good artist. It's just basic things, but it kind of just fits. Oh no, that's just me. Like, this is the sun, and what they did with it is kind of amazing. Like, they have a ladder, like, towards the clouds to heaven, I guess, or like whatever it leads to, like the light. They have footprints, stars. I don't know. Like, it kind of like it's kind of just nice, nice artwork. So whoever designed that, good job. Anyway, so back to Aries and this whole astrology thing. The sun through the signs. Consider how this planet, or in this case, the star, the sun, consider how this planet expresses itself according to the sign that it occupies. So, Aries, you may be called to the pioneer leading the way through courage, tests of bravery to help sharpen the warrior's spirit. So, as we were talking about last time, Aries is basically the warrior. Like, you're basically out for battle. Thing is, I don't know exactly what it means by like the sun. I know that they have specific times in your birth charts and everything, which honestly I didn't technically read through yet. It's a pretty big, I guess, wide book to, I guess, decipher everything. But we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through everything. We're gonna understand astrology left to right. Oh, I didn't notice that, but on the top, I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. Probably not. Uh, Probably because my hand is covering that part too. But on the top, it has this little chart where the sun is here pointing to it's pointing to it. Then it has all the planets lined up, and they got Pluto. One thing astrology does better is having Pluto. Anyway, it says overall. This is just the sun, so I'm only going to read this once, and then we're going to go back to, I guess, each sign on its own. Uh, Sorry. So the sun is identity and life and purpose, right? And knowing from what I know, especially this reading this one little paragraph that I just saw, but knowing from I know that the sun is your light, and it's supposed to give you, I want to say, just like joy in your day, which it does. It's supposed to. Now here it says it gives purpose, vitality, creative power, heart of our being, inner authority, the shining light, and self-development. All those I can see being a thing. At the same time, I don't know how nothing else can basically be that. That's the part that I guess I'll never understand. We're not going to dive too deep into this, into the sun itself. We'll probably do that one some other time, and I'll go through each planet. But there is one thing that I did want to read. So, for some reason, I just read this, The Sun in Myth, right? This is the only part I read, and the only part I'm going to read until we get to the planets later on. But solar deities bring light and vitality. The Babylonians Shamash was the symbol of justice, and Helios of the ancient Greeks drove the chariot of the sun across the sky. In Egyptian Ra, Celtic Lu, and Hindu Surya, I'm pretty sure I butchered some of those as well. We see the life-giving spirit of the sun. So, I do like how they did do that and incorporate some of the gods and kind of like history throughout all that, because that's a lot more educational, and it just makes you understand more. So I actually do like how they did that. But back to Aries. Like I said, we're gonna read through that one more time. You may be called to be a pioneer, leading the way through with courage, tests of bravery to help sharpen your warrior spirit. Now we got the move, instinct and protection. So this one's physical, emotional, instinct, familiarity, maternal. I don't know what feed means. Probably just, I don't know, hunger, I guess. Nurture, intuition, cyclical. Well, here's the thing. Personally, I don't really resonate too much with all. Like, I don't know how they divided that up, but anyway, I will let you see the picture of it because, regardless, it's pretty cool. You got the little water, little bird. Everything still like fits. They're not like deceptive in any way. It's just I don't know how you could be both physical, emotional, and instinctual with the moon. I feel like those should each be a separate planet, but whatever. This is how it is. Familiarity. I don't know. We're just gonna go with that. But we will read. We're only gonna do this for the sun and the moon. So the moon in myth. The moon cycle has been charted in the triple form as maiden, mother, and crone, and as the three fates of the Greek and Norse myth. It is linked astrologically to the menstrual cycle, conception, and birth, and to the mothering, feeding, and nurturing. I guess that's where they got it from. So feed and nurture. I guess. Okay. I guess that makes sense. It makes sense when you don't think about it I want to say in detail. Because no. It's a lot of people say like it goes through with like a woman's menstrual cycle, but the thing is no. Like the moon. Okay. I'm going to try to stop I want to say critiquing that hard, and just try to more understand it. So, the moon through the signs. We're going to go through Aries. It does not suit you to be held back or have to wait for others. You might show caring by helping your charges develop their independence. Your charges develop your independence by helping your charges develop their independence. Like so that part I don't understand. You might show caring by helping your charges develop their independence. Huh. You might show caring. See, it's stuff like this that kind of annoys me. It's too vague. Just drinking tea. But I don't know. It does not suit you to be held back or have to wait for others. When it comes to this is just Aries, by the way. So you basically like to work on your own. That part we get, we understand. Now you don't need anyone else, I guess. Which is also completely not true for most people who are Aries that I know of, at least. The part that I don't like, you might show caring by helping your charges develop their independence. Like, are you trying to help yourself? Are you trying to help your achievements, your goals, your plans? Like develop like yourself, your well-being. I feel like anybody should be able to do that, or not should be, but everybody should do that. Just help themselves in general. All right. Well, I can't really say too much on that. Mercury, communication and learning. I'll show the pictures on everything else some other time, and then we'll go more into depth on planets some other time. We're just going strictly because of the month, or I guess the season of Aries that everything is in. Oh. So, Mercury through Aries. So this is, I guess, where Mercury is in the sky. This is what people who have Aries should focus on, I guess, or I guess what would affect them. You you are good at clear thinking and decision making. Okay, not everybody is. uh, I could already think of one person who's not good at that I know is Aries, but like, okay, maybe I do need to see the star charts before, but I want to get through just the month first, and then we can go through everything else. Anyway, communication is direct and forthright with the ability to cut to the chase. So I guess the best way to interpret this is go back to this character that we have created. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and what the I guess describes this character, like this warrior, which you basically like to get to straight to the point. Don't want any additional additions to the story. Oh, and a good example of this would probably be if you guys seen One Punch Man. If you have seen saw the scene where Saitama says, "Explain what you need to explain in 20 words or less." That's the way I interpret this. And then you are good at clear thinking and decision making. A lot of people are, and sometimes that is tough to do. But not everyone through Aries or through Mercury. Huh. We're gonna go to Venus now. Venus for Aries. Ooh, I do like the picture for Venus. You guys will see some of the time. Well, unless you guys can see through the camera. All right. So, you love the thrill of the chase. So this guy, he loves... Okay, just that. Just the thrill of the chase. Unlikely to hang around waiting to be asked on a date. You'll probably make the first move. So I think, yeah, Venus is love and pleasure. So most people would probably be the ones to go out and ask. I feel like that's straight up on your own personality. That has nothing to do with Venus. But in most ancient times, I know that I think some of them were like Venus was the planet of love. So that's where they kind of got this from. And then you'll probably make the first move. That's straight up on personality, I guess, on choice. Some people wait to be asked. Some people ask. Some people don't want to like fall in love. This is just too vague. But once again, gotta get out of that mindset. You love the thrill of the chase. So in this case, you want to be with somebody. You want to, like, if you see somebody who's like super amazing, super pretty, super handsome or something, you'd be the one asking them out. Still, to each their own. Mars, assertion and action. So this is Aries' actual like planet, I think. This is what is Aries. It like resonates with Aries. So this is the Aries through Mars. This is the most single-minded position for Mars and suggests you channel your energy forcefully and directionally. I have no idea what that means. Okay. Single-minded position. So you're only set on your only goal. And so just see to channel your energy forcefully in that direction. So your goal is set and you want to be straight with it. This is your one, like I want to say dedication. This is the thing that you want to do. Personally, I feel like that's actually pretty good advice. Well, all this is pretty good advice to an extent. Like, I don't think that just because you are Aries, this is what you should be doing, obviously. That's my opinion on its own. This kind of, I think, well, as far as I know from astrology, is that this is like your inner personality and you can't really fight against it. I don't know. There's always some loophole that will kind of get you into it. Regardless, if you do have a dedication that you do want to do, go ahead and pursue it. And I understand that in this world it's very tough, and people are burned out, people are tired, or people kind of just give up or don't see it. But I do agree with this, that you should continue. You should try. Like honestly, it's been hard for me to like go up and do episodes and stuff of this. Mostly because I have been tired. But I gotta push through. Right now, right here, it's like 2 in the morning. But I was like, you know what? I need to catch up on this. So I haven't done one of these, so I need to. So the next page after this is a quote and a drum. If we cannot express Mars, how can we recognize and respect other people's rights to be themselves? What? What? Wait, what? What the? Okay. Liz and Howard, the inner planet's building blocks. So they got a cool picture of a drum. Why a drum? I have no idea. And some gears. If we cannot express Mars, how can we recognize and respect other people's rights to be themselves? Before we move on, I do want to get through this quote, mostly because it does have Mars, and Aries is basically, or that's Aries' planet. So, what do you mean express Mars? Because as far as I know, Mars is like rage. Mars is like the red planet. It's the planet of war. Actually, no, let's go over Mars. Let's go back and go over Mars, because this is Aries' planet. So, without Mars, we would lack the energy that spurs us to action and allows us to further our ambitions. Appreciating your material style can be key to feeling energized and fighting fit. It does have a good amount of boxing materials, chilies, mail. I think that's a jet for some reason. It's pretty cool. The designs are simple, but they're cool. Mars in this. Oh, let me read the rules. It rules Aries and Scorpio. Day of the week, it's Tuesday. This is Thursday when I'm recording, but still. Metal, iron. Oh, there's metals now. This is interesting. Colors: red, symbol, male. Mars in the sky. When it is close to Earth, Mars appears bright red. It's actually true. If you actually have a telescope, go and see, you can spot it easily, but go and see it if you have a telescope. It's always so cool just to see a planet, see how small we are in this universe, making its popularity known as the red planet. This comes perhaps unsurprisingly from the concentration of iron oxide spread over its surface by violent dust storms. All absolutely true. Mars is competition, survival, strength, capacity for action, courage and daring, anger, and sexual drive. So I actually do agree that's what you actually see through the red planet, through Aries. And also that's kind of what we've been taught too. At least I have. Like the god of war. Always fighting, always surviving, always striving to be the best. Fighting spirit, energy, vitality, and conflict. I think that was a hair. Anyway, Mars in myth, Greek Aries as the god of warframe. What the fuck is in my mouth? Sorry. Bloodlust and slaughter. His Roman counterpart, Mars, however, was honored with the warrior. Sorry. Just something in my mouth. Anyway, was honored for his warrior spirit, courage, and military skill. His image suggests a more disciplined form of his planet's energy. So obviously, very vague for each one, but I do like how they keep it burning with fire, burning with the fiery passion to fight. It's like an energy, fighting energy spirit, kind of like Goku going Super Saiyan. Mars is he turns yellow. Super Saiyan God. There you go. He doesn't use whatever. Anyway, Mars is the symbol for civic and military conflict, wars, riots, and armed forces and police. It also symbolizes more peaceable activities. Surgeons, engineers, tool makers, barbers, and butchers, along with their tools. I don't know why, but okay. I guess it does. I don't see Mars with surgeons. I kind of see them as engineers. I don't even know what I'm saying, to be honest. Like, I don't know how I see them as that. I guess more in their color, but to be fair, it's more orange for engineers personally. Tool makers, barbers, I see red and blue because of the stupid little sign that they have. Butchers, I can see as Mars is red with the blood cutting everything, along with their tools, as weapons and stuff. I guess you can somewhat do that with surgeons, but I honestly see blue for surgeons. I don't know. When it comes to colors, that's what I see. Mars in your chart. The influence of the planet will be felt according to where it resides and its relationship to other planets. So we still got to find our way through other planets. But because it's the month of Aries, or the state of Aries, the dates of Aries, we're going to stick with Aries. We're going to stick with everything Aries. Competition. We might feel inspired to compete in a number of ways through oratory or sports. Oratory. I don't know what that is. I'll look that up later. Or sports. As leaders or teachers, or in battles of supremacy with close partners. Okay. So I do agree that it's a lot of competition. Uh, and that's basically the fighting energy, the fighting spirit. So, like I said, I'm trying to do my best to realize what this is. I'm not going to try to fight or destroy it, because I'll probably give my opinions at the end of a whole year of everything. My own, like, opinions versus my interpretations of what I'm reading. Because I'm trying so hard not to just bash it, because I think it is ridiculous, but I do genuinely want to learn it and see where everything leads. So I'm trying my best. Mars symbolizes our instinct to survive, not just our physical strength, but the heat and energy that spur us into action. That I can see. That I can see. Warrior. Here is the archetype of the warrior and the fighting spirit vital to life. When we are under threat, it is the function of the chart that supplies us with the courage to defend our territory. I mean, in general, we do want to defend everything that is ours. Anything that like you don't want anybody taking something that isn't yours and just letting them get away with it. I mean, some people are too cowardice to do anything about it, or some people don't really care. But overall, I want to say genuinely, we do, like, if you take something of mine, I want it back. I'm going to fight for it back. I feel like most people do. Sexual drive. Mars also describes sexual drive. It shows our physical needs in this respect and the universal urge to spread our seed. I honestly do not see Mars that way. I honestly just see Mars as strictly like war driven. I guess at the end of the war you want like some kind of a prize, I guess. But I no. When it comes to sexual drive, I don't think Mars has really any. I think it's just the will of the fight. The only thing I really can compare Aries to is Goku. Like, you have that fighting spirit, that energy, positivity, or Vegeta if you want to go more of the warrior, right? Like more, more of the warrior way. That's what I was trying to say. But that's like, I'm trying my best to interpret it as characters that I already know. But like I said, we're also trying to make this character that we're trying to create as Aries. But I don't see Mars as being anything of a sexual drive. Energy. Okay, well, science has a completely different way of energy. This is more spiritual energy, the way it's interpreting everything. So, energy by extension, Mars will also indicate how we express and release physical energy in more of general terms through sports and exercise. Some prefer the slow burn of yoga, while others prefer the fast paced action of like a tennis match or a long distance slog of a marathon. Your Mars suggests whether your energy is a laser like or uncontained, sustained, or erratic. Okay, we are going to criticize it a little bit because it just gave a giant, vague, very, like, it gave so much of what it could be. And honestly, it's just exerting energy. That's literally what the whole paragraph was about. Because it says you exert energy through yoga. but also through something mild like tennis or something heavy like a marathon. Well, tennis could also be a marathon. Don't get me wrong. Tennis does take a lot of endurance, but I will say it's nowhere near a marathon. 26.3 miles, I think. 26 point something. I forgot how much it was. Uh, Still, it's basically saying level 1, level 2, level 3. And I feel like it should be more linear than more like spread out upon. Uh, I don't know why it's like that, but whatever. That's too vague, if anything. Mars inspires us. Mars inspires us to feats of courage and heroism. That part I can understand. You know, it's Mars. You're supposed to have, yeah, the capacity for action. Each in our unique style. Bravery can be shown in many ways: physical, mental, emotional, intellectual. And Mars suggests where and how you might be prepared to go the extra mile to succeed. I guess in this case, you are trying to like go further and beyond. But the thing is, in actuality, Mars doesn't have anything to do with that. But I guess just seeing the planet, I guess in this specific context, no, I can't even defend it that way. I don't know. I'm I gotta separate myself from that, from the logical perspective, and it's very hard to do. um. Anyway, under the yeah yeah extra mile to succeed. Yeah, under the auspices of Mars. No, how do you pronounce that? Auspices, auspices. I'll look that up in a second and see what that means. Actually, no, I'll look it up now because I have no idea what that is. Auspicious. Fuck, I can't read. Conducted to succeed, favorable. Of Mars comes life, pioneers, conquerors, entrepreneurs, adventurers, and athletes, though we might not forget that in small ways. We each show these qualities daily in our own lives. Yes, we do. Courage comes in many different forms, and we are all capable of great strength. It's like, I don't know, it's like it wants to piss me off. But overall, yes, I do agree that Mars or Aries itself is based upon wanting to do your best, wanting to push yourself forward as best as possible. Mostly physically, yes, also mentally. Like I said, the best I can describe it is probably Goku or Vegeta, not Gohan. I guess intellectually, Gohan. But I know I'm making a lot of Dragon Ball references, but that's literally all I can think of in the best way. Back to this. If we cannot express Mars, how can we recognize and respect other people's rights to be themselves? Easily. We just respect them. Respect them for who they are, for what they do. So long as they're not harming any other person, I think you're fine. So long as you don't cause harm. But if we cannot express Mars, so if we can't, I think it's meaning if we can't express our competitive way. Let's say it that way. How can we recognize and respect other people's rights to be themselves? Actually, reading it that way, I feel like is much better. Reading it, if we need to respect their competitiveness, their urge to succeed, I like, no, that's a much better way of reading it than just saying Mars. That's definitely a much better, updating my phone, much better way. Okay, on to the next planet. So that was basically Aries. But with Jupiter in Aries, you have the capacity to motivate others through your pioneering vision. When one vision recedes, another soon appears. So this one is growth and opportunity. Capacity to motivate others through your pioneering vision. I guess the way it's describing itself is like the leadership, like you inspire others. And then it's saying when one vision recedes, another soon appears. So basically you always have your next goal in mind. I just feel like that's everyone. Like that's too vague. Saturn, authority and maturity. All right. Good for athletic or military style disciplines. I don't know why, but it is, I guess. This Saturn helps you achieve through tests of courage and strength. Okay, but how? Why? Sorry. No, I don't know how. I don't have much words to say to this one. Athletic and military style disciplines. I feel like that's just in general. Once again, now we have Uranus or Uranus. Uh, sorry, I was thinking about Neil. Anyway, wait, what is this? As a transpersonal planet, the the sign places for Uranus suggest collective rather than personal themes. Interesting. So this one says 1927 8 through 1934 5 and 2010 to 2018 9. I have no idea what that means. I don't know if that's like at the back of the book or for context or something. Hey, look, there's something here. I'll open it later. Well, there's not 1,000 pages. I'll have to see what that means because they all have it. Regardless, let's just read it. Pioneering technology and the rise of the production line. The car offers individual transportation, bringing freedom. What? I'm so confused. I don't know how to even interpret that. Pioneering technology and the rise of the production line. I guess that's what the first date means. And then the second date means the car offers individual transportation, bringing freedom. But that's, I'm going to skip that one. Neptune. This is my favorite planet. Imagination and transcendence. That's actually pretty cool. So it says new departure or 1861-2 through 1874-5. I'm gonna see if that gets interpreted in some way. If so, I'll talk about it in the next video. The next video is about houses. Anyway, for Aries. So new departure in the arts and the birth of modern art. Not. Well, no. Okay. Pioneering efforts lead to changes in spirituality and religious observance. That part I can. Well, I don't I don't see that in Neptune, but things do change spiritually and religiously all the time. Pluto. They got Pluto. It's the only reason I'm tolerating this whole thing. So this one says 1822-3 through 1851-3. Pluto was the last Pluto was last here at the beginning of the Victorian age. It reflects new beginnings that sweep away that was gone before. They did Pluto amazing. Good job, Aries, for that one. The only time I will say fuck science. Chiron. Chiron. However you want to pronounce it. I think it's technically Chiron. Self-assertion can be a challenge, perhaps early on. Let me restart that. I can't read. Self-assertion can be a challenge. Perhaps early on you were discouraged from going on your way. Healing arises from finding your independence. Healing and compassion. So basically, if you lost your way, you kind of get everything. You find everything back. Okay. Not exactly the best, but at least you guys know your whole things. Meanwhile, I will try to find 18 something to whatever it was trying to say. I don't know. I feel like that's also kind of a waste of time. But I do need to know. Well, regardless, those are everything that interact with your planets. I think I'll have to find that some other time. My thoughts on that, on the whole thing, Well, there's not much to go through. Everything was just, I don't know. It's just super vague. The best I can describe what I just read is you're a warrior. You like to fight, and you do it with the most courage as possible. And everything kind of just it just fits with the color red, if that makes sense. When a lot of people say like red is for like anger or fury, fire, it kind of just fits with that boiling rage that you have. And overall, yeah, that's kind of what Aries, I guess, is. I think I'm just gonna do this now. Now that I'm just here, um, it's I just want to say it's just too vague. Too it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's not even I, I I'm completely out of my field here. I don't know what else this could mean. So we're gonna go into houses in the next video because I don't want to completely bash it just yet. I really do, but I feel like that's more of the end of the year thing. Once I actually get through the book, learn the star charts, learn everything else, and then I can judge it properly. I can't just go one by one because this goes with wellness and fitness and health, your habit. I think that's just more of the book in general. Whoa, I saw something about Aries. Your zodiac signs. Aries for your motivation. Mars in Aries or Capricorn. Your zodiac signs. We'll probably do this later. Each one will be its own section. Right now we're just about the planets. Because if I were to cover everything, we would be here for about probably like 4 hours just reading on one sign. So we're gonna leave it at that. That I'm gonna criticize it at the end. I'm not gonna criticize it now. Uh, do I believe in any of that? No. Do I understand it? I'm trying to. As far as I can see, Aries is basically rageful and full of courage, but you like it's just basically drive through your own passion. That's what I'm getting at. I that's what I'm interpreting or interpreting. So yeah, I guess we'll see the houses in the next video.